Jay here. Welcome to Beginning Drums, Chapter 11. All right, we're going to start off with some rhythms and rudiments. We're going to continue exploring our eighth note rests and our eighth notes, along with our quarter notes and all of our other rests along the way. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number one. We're going to start off with all eighth notes for bar one. On bar two, we're going to have all these four beats. We'll have an eighth note rest on the downbeat, and we'll hit the ands of those beats. Bar three has quarter notes on beats 1 and 2, and a half note rest for beat 3 and 4. Bar 4 has an eighth note rest on the downbeat of 1. We'll hit the and of that beat. There's a quarter note on beat 2, and then eighth notes for beats 3 and 4. Okay, here's number 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest, rest, 1, and 2, 3, and 4. All right, I'll just do these one time. I'm going to recommend for you to repeat them 4 to 8 times and try out your different tempos, slow, medium, and fast. Okay, for number 2, we're going to start off with a quarter note rest on beat 1. On beat 2, we'll have an eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the and of that beat. Beat 3 is going to be eighth notes, and beat 4 is a quarter note. For bar 2, we'll have eighth notes on beat 1, and then beats 2, 3, and 4 will all have an eighth note rest on the downbeat, and we'll hit the ands of those beats. Bar 3 has an eighth note rest on the downbeat of 1. We'll hit the and of that beat. There's a quarter note rest on beat 2 with quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. And then bar 4 will be a whole note rest where we won't play anything. Okay, here's number 2. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And 1, and 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to push my tempo a little bit for number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And 1, and 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. So don't forget, when you push your tempos, it'll always be an extra challenge, but start off slow and make sure you got it. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. For number 3, we're going to start off for beats 1 and 2. Both have an eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the ands of those beats. Beat 3 is a quarter note. And then on beat 4, again, eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the and. Bar 2 has a quarter note on beat 1, eighth notes on beats 2. Beat 3 is a quarter note rest and a quarter note on beat 4. Bar 3 has a half note rest for beats 1 and 2. We'll do eighth notes for beats 3 and 4. And then the whole last bar, bar 4, will be all eighth note rest on the downbeats, and we'll hit the ands of those beats. Okay, here comes number 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and rest, rest, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. For this one, we're going to start off with a quarter note on beat 1, eighth notes on beat 2, a quarter note on beat 3, and a quarter note rest on beat 4. Bar 2 is going to have eighth notes on beat 1 with a quarter note on beat 2, and then for beats 3 and 4, we'll have an eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the ands of those beats. Bar 3 has that same concept. We'll have eighth note rest on the downbeats. We'll hit the ands of those beats. Beat 3 is a quarter note rest. Beat 4 is a quarter note. Bar 4 is a quarter note on beat 1, eighth notes on beat 2. On beat 3, we have an eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the and of that beat, and then beat 4 is a quarter note. Here comes number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, rest. 1, and 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, let's take a look at number 5. This one's going to start off with eighth notes on beat 1, and then on beat 2, we'll have an eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the and of the beat. On beat 3, we have eighth notes, and then beat 4 is a quarter note. Bar 2 is a whole note rest, means we won't play anything for that whole bar. Bar 3 has got quarter notes on beats 1, 2, and 3. On beat 4, we have an eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the and of that beat. For the fourth bar, we'll do that similar concept for beats 1, 2, and 3 with an eighth note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the and then beat 4 is a quarter note rest. Here comes number 5. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, rest. Okay, number 6. We're going to start off with an 8th note rest on the downbeat. For beats 1 and 2, we'll hit the ands of those beats. Beats 3 and 4 will have a half note rest, means we won't play anything. Bar 2 has quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a quarter note rest on beat 3 and a quarter note on beat 4. On bar 3, we have 8th notes on beat 1, and then beats 2, 3, and 4, we have an 8th note on the downbeat. We'll hit the ands of those beats. For the 4th bar, we have an 8th note rest on beat 1, and we'll hit the and of that beat. Quarter note rest for beats 2 and 3, and then a quarter note on beat 4. Here comes number 6. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, rest, rest, 1, 2, rest, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, take a look at number 7. For this one, we're going to start off quarter notes on beats 1 and 2. On beat 3, we have an 8th note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the end of that beat. Beat 4 has a quarter note. On bar 2, we have 8th notes on beat 1, quarter note rest on beat 2. On beat 3, we have an 8th note rest on the downbeat. We'll hit the end of that beat, and then a quarter note rest on beat 4. For bar 3, there's a whole note rest. It means nothing. Bar 4, we have an 8th note rest on beat 1. We'll hit the end of that beat. Beat 2 is 8th notes, and then beat 3 and 4 are quarter notes. Okay, here comes number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Okay, let's go to number 8. Okay, for this one, it's going to be a little more sparse, a lot of rest. Bar 1 starts off with an 8th note rest. We'll hit the and of beat 1. Beat 2 is a quarter note rest. Beat 3 is a quarter note rest. Okay, on beat 4, similar. We'll have an 8th note rest. We'll hit the and of that beat. Okay, going to bar 2, for beats 1 and 2, that same concept. 8th note rest, we'll hit the ands of those beats. Beats 3 and 4 is a half note rest. Okay, bar 3 has a quarter note rest on beat 1. 8th note rest on beat 2, we'll hit the and of that beat. Quarter note rest on beat 3. Beat 4, 8th note rest on the downbeat, we'll hit the and. On the last bar, we'll have a half note rest for beats 1 and 2, quarter note rest for beat 3, and then on beat 4, an 8th note rest, and we'll hit the and of that beat. Okay, here comes number 8. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to push my tempo for that last one. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go ahead and take it over to our rudiments for the chapter. Today we're going to learn the single drag tab, also referred to as a single drag. And this is going to be 2 doubles leading into 2 singles. And we're going to accent the second of the singles. So think of it like 2 singles where the first note has drag grace notes and the second note is accented of those singles. So either way you want to look at it, it's going to sound like this. So if I go into a right drag with 2 lefts right before it, left, left, right, and then I'm just going to hit another left a little bit harder to give an accent, and that's that arrow right there. Okay, let's go ahead and put it in action. Take a look at number 1. We're going to be in 2/4 timing, 2 beats per bar. Okay, so beat 1 is just going to be a left, left, right, left, rest, and then we'll flip our sticks, right, right, left, right, rest. Okay, here's number 1. 1, 2, left, left, right, left, rest, right, right, left, right, rest. Again, left, left, right, rest, rest. Okay, there it is. Single drag tap. Okay, let's go ahead and put the drag tap on beat 1, and then we're going to have a quarter note on beat 2. Here's number 2. 1, 2, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left. Okay, for number 3, we're going to do a similar concept, but we're going to put 8th notes on beat 2. So it'll be a left, left, right, left, right, left. And then we can flip our sticks, or you can just keep repeating that particular sticking and then flip them around eventually. But I'm going to try to flip my sticks each time. Okay, here's number 3. 1, 2, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, take a look at number 4. Now I'm going to put us into 4/4 timing. Okay, we're going to have 2 sets of our single drag taps. Okay, so this one's going to be like this. Left, left, right, left, right, 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 left, right, left. So I'm going to flip the sticking within the bar. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, right, left, right, left, 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 right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, let's go ahead and take it to number 5. Similar concept. We're going to have a quarter note rest though on beat 2. So we'll have a left, left, rest, and then a right, left, left. So quarter note on beat 4, but a quarter note rest on beat 2. Okay, here comes number 5. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and right, left, left, right, rest, left, left. Okay, let's go ahead and do the last one, number 6. We're gonna do 2 single drag taps right back to back. So it's gonna be for beats 1 and 2, left, right, left, right, and then quarter notes for beats 3 and 4. Okay, here we go. Here's number 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna just play it a little bit faster. Okay, so have fun with your single drag tap. It's a cool one. We'll put it in action too. All right, cheers. All right, welcome to Beats and Fills. Today's beat's gonna have a basic concept for beat 1. It's gonna be a bass drum on the downbeat of 1. We're gonna put a bass drum on the and of 2 and the and of 3 for this one. So for our quarter note beat on beat number 1, we're gonna have some separation with our bass drum. On beat 2, it's gonna have a snare and hi-hat on the downbeat, and we'll have our bass drum by itself. On beat 3, it's a hi-hat on the downbeat, and then a bass drum by itself on the end of 3. And that's a good thing to practice. Here it's just beat 2 to 3, 2 and 3, and again, 2 and 3, and then beat 4 is a basic concept of your snare and your hi-hat together on the downbeat. Okay, so here's beat number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, for beat number 2, we're going to do the 8th note version of this. So beat 1's a basic concept. We have a bass drum on the downbeat with our hi-hat of 1. We'll hit the hi-hat by itself on the and of 1. On beat 2, on the downbeat, we have our hi-hat and snare. And then on the and of 2, we'll hit our bass drum with the hi-hat. On beat 3, we have a hi-hat by itself on the downbeat of 3. And then we're going to hit our bass drum with the hi-hat on the and of 3. And then on beat 4, we have a basic concept. So we'll have snare and hi-hat, and then a hi-hat by itself. Here's beat number 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. for beat number 3, we're going to do the 16th note version of this beat. Here's how we count our 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, beat 1 is basic concept, so we'll have our bass drum on the downbeat. 1 E and a. We're going to put that bass drum on the and of 2. So start off beat 2 with your snare backbeat on the downbeat. 2 E and a. Beat 3 has the bass drum on the and of 3. 3 E and a. And then beat 4 is basic. Snare on the downbeat. 4 E and a. Here's beat number 3. 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. All right, let's do some fills. Okay, we're going to be doing a lot of eighth notes on the ands of beats for this first fill. In fact, every beat's going to have an eighth note rest on the downbeat, and we'll hit the ands for beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, for our fills, the way it works is first example is we'll do all snare, and then I'm going to put it somewhere on the drum set, and then you will make your own drum fill and write it in and use that given rhythm for the 4 examples to make your fill. And you can put your fills anywhere you'd like. Okay, so for number 1, we're going to do all the ands of the beats, all snare. Okay, part 2 and number 1, I put this across the drum set, around the horn, if you will. So for beat 1, we'll hit the snare on the and of 1. We'll go to tom 1 on the and of 2, tom 2s on the and of 3, and then floor toms on the and of 4. Okay, now it's time for you to make up your own drum fill. Let's say if you want to do some combos today. Okay, on the and of 1, if you want to do a snare and tom 1 combo, you would just write in your snare on the second to top space, your tom 1s on the top space, and then connect those with your flag going straight up. That'll be your eighth note, and then you would put your flag out to make it a curved flag on the and of the beat. Okay, let's say if on beat 2 you want to do a tom 1 and tom 2 combo, same time. Just write in both those notes, tom 1's on the top space, tom 2's on the second to top line, and then connect them with that flag, that stem and flag. Okay, let's say on beat the end of beat 3, you want to put in a bass drum and a crash combo. Just put in that X circled above the staff, put in a bass drum connecting to it with the straight stem and a flag. And then let's say if we want to do a combination of, we'll go snare and tom 2 for the and of 4, I would just put in a snare and my tom 2 together, again with the stem and that flag, and then you've made your own fill and you've written it in there too. Okay, for fill number 2, it's going to start off with the quarter note rest on beat 1. We have an eighth note rest on the downbeat of 2. We'll hit the and of 2. Beat 3 is a quarter note, and then eighth notes on beat 4. This is all snare. Okay, the way I put this one on the drum set, on the and of 2, that's a tom 1. The quarter note on beat 3, I put a flam on the snare. And then for the eighth notes on beat 4, I put those on tom number 2. Okay, for fill number 3, it's going to start off with eighth notes on beat 1. We're going to hit the and of beat 2. and then a quarter note rest on beat 3, and then we'll play a quarter note on beat 4. This is all snare. Okay, I put this one on the drum set. For those eighth notes on beat 1, I put a floor tom and tom 2. On the and of 2, that's a flam on your tom 1. And then on beat 4, that's a combination of floor tom and snare. Okay, for fill number 4, it's going to have eighth notes on beat 1. There's an eighth note rest on beat 2. We'll hit the and of that beat. And then a half note rest on beats 3 and 4. This is all snare. Okay, I put the one on the drum set like this. I put eighth notes in the bass drum for beat 1. And then on the and of 2, that's a flam snare. Okay, let's combine our beats and fills. The concept here is to do 4 bars of our beat from the chapter and then pick a fill, any fill. You could do your fill, you could do one of mine. I've written in the examples of the orchestrated or arranged fills on the drum set. So for number 1, we're going to do 4 bars of the quarter note version of the beat into fill number 1 on the drum set. Okay, now it comes time for the part for us to make up our own fills on the spot or to improvise them. And what I recommend here is pick a beat, play it for 4 bars, and then do a 1-bar fill of your own, and then just let it flow, see what happens. Just play anything off the top of your head. The main thing is we're counting our beats, we're counting our bars, and that's the exercise here, but also allowing some creativity and exploration of the drum set. All right, welcome to the study. Today we're going to talk about mini fills. Now, as opposed to a big fill that takes a bar or takes 2 bars, there could be drum fills that are even longer than that. We're just going to put in a little small fill at the very end of our beat. Okay, let's go ahead and start the process. Now, if you look at number 1, it's a basic 8th note beat, but we're just going to put in 1 snare hit at the very, very end, and that's going to be our mini fill. So it's going to sound kind of like a beat, but we're going to start to move around the small fill onto the toms. So it is a fill, but it's just super small. So for number 1, on that very last 16th note, we're going to add in a snare hit right in between those hi-hats when we go into our repetition. Okay, for number 5, now we're going to make our mini fill into 2 notes. So for the first example here, number 5, we're going to put in 2 snare hits now at the very end of the phrase. And we're going to be playing no hi-hats on the end of the beat for this one. So it's just going to be a drum fill. So we're just omitting that last cymbal or hi-hat on the and of 4. And these last 2 notes will fall on the and of beat 4. So it's going to be like a 4E and leading us into our next repetition. So for number 5, we're going to put 2 snare hits at the very end of the phrase. Okay, for number 9, now we're going to start splitting up our mini fill between 2 different drums. So similar concept, now we're doing our 8th note beat, but at the very end of the phrase, instead of doing, let's say, snare, snare, for this one we're going to go snare to tom 1. Okay, for number 13, we're going to put in a larger mini fill, if that makes sense. We're going to put in 3 notes this time. So we're going to have 3 snare hits after that backbeat on beat 4. And then on this one, you can explore doing a left, left, right, left. So when we hit our snare with our hi-hat on beat 4, left, left, right, left. That's kind of a good way to do it. Sometimes it's all about getting back to our right stick to start that beat again. So if you ever find that, like, I don't know, your hands are getting mixed up, take your time, think about what's most efficient. But the left, left sure helps a lot coming from that downbeat on beat 4. number 17. Now we're going to start to split up our 3-note mini fill. So for this one, we're going to have a snare 1-1 for those last 3 notes. Okay, for number 21, I opened this one up for a little bit of improvisation. Just gonna vary our mini fills this time. So gonna do a 2-bar phrase. First bar is just basic, and then on the second bar, put in a mini fill, and then you could vary if you wanna hit your different toms, if you wanna hit a snare. You could even incorporate the 2-note and the 3-note mini fills, but it's basically doing a 2-bar phrase with a mini fill at the end of the second bar. So have fun with it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you for chapter 12. Cheers.